Hey, what's going on, you guys? Okay, today, you guys, we're gonna be doing part three of the new Army CSDP inspection, you guys. This is gonna be part three. So I'm gonna be covering section A and section B today, you guys. Uh, Make sure you guys stay tuned to this video. Okay, you guys. So, like I was saying, we're gonna be covering section A and section B. First of all, before I get started, make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel. If you have any suggestions for future episodes, you guys can contact me at either one of my social media platforms down here below, you guys. I do read all my comments. So, Section A of the DA Form 7768, you guys, is labeled as general. So, first one says commander has the responsibility for the overall supply room operations. So this is your SOP. So it says ensure SOPs are current and complete. Ensure procedures outlined in the Army regulation and local policy is adhered to. SOPs are to be reviewed on an annual basis with a signature and date to show completion of review. So this is just making sure you guys have a supply SOP and that is signed by your commander. Next one says when regulatory guidance is not clear, request clarification. So it says send requests through command channels per AR 710-4. So it says this should be mentioned in your SOP. Have a discussion with them as ask if they understand the procedure or requesting clarification. So you guys, of course, requesting clarification for regulatory guidance. Of course, you can look at 710-4, paragraph 1-12, 1-13, and 1-14, you guys. Number 3 said deviation from supply policy requires approval from HQDA. Send requests through command channels to HQDA. And it says this must be mentioned in their SOP. Have a discussion with them, ask if they understand the procedures on requesting deviation authority of regulatory guidance. So, of course, when you're trying to request a deviation authority, you guys can look at AR 710-4, paragraph 112, 113, and 114, you guys. So that's all it is. Question 2 and 3, knowing how to request guidance, and if you got deviation authority, if you want to request deviation of authority of regulatory guidance, knowing how to request that, you guys. And you can find that on 7 and 17, that's 4, paragraph 112, 113, and 114. So number 4 says commanders and directors at every level will review and comply with the CSDP requirements. So it says units must ensure they are complying with CSDP requirements by being evaluated per 710-4. Battalions should be conducting the evaluation semi-annually. Units must utilize this form as a constant reference and comply. So, of course, units need to be getting, your unit should be getting inspected semi-annually, you guys. And that's just meeting the compliance with that. So, number 5 says same as above, ensure units are complying and properly implementing the requirements that is within the CSDP. This form is utilized as a guide when not being evaluated. And again, it's just saying use the CSDP tables in DA Form 7768 as a guide in the performance or commander property accountability duties. So number 6, it says commanders and directors at every level will report to their immediate higher headquarters any applicable requirements within the CSDP that cannot be completed. Of course, when you get evaluated, you want to make sure you letting your higher headquarters know what can't be completed. If you get a no-go on that section, it says verify that the unit did or did not report findings to battalion on what requirements they cannot complete. Whenever an applicable requirement within the requirements listing cannot be completed, the immediate higher headquarters must be notified by the affected organization. The next question says commanders, directors, and managers at every level have an inherent responsibility to establish and maintain effective internal controls, access areas of risk, identify and correct weaknesses, and keep their superiors informed. CSDP is a commander's program. They will implement CSDP by using existing resources such as existing inspection programs to help identify, prevent, and eliminate problem areas. Is the unit only relying on the semi-annual evaluation, or are they using other resources? So you guys want to use other resources. So of course, you can contact IG, Inspector Generals. They have 92 Yankees, IGs. They have all type of people that can come inspect your supply room, you guys. Yeah. So next is commanders, directors will ensure all required references are on hand. So it said ensure unit has the required publications listed in 17-4 Appendix A, Section 1, and ensure they are the most current, can be a paper copy or digital that is accessible to all personnel in the supply room. So you just make sure you have all the publications in that regulation, you guys. The next question says accountable property system of record use is mandatory. Hard copy forms, electronic or manual prepared on paper. Procedures outside in APS AR are only authorized for austere mission challenges or system outages or specific exceptions when a function is not performed by APSR. When access is restored, manually processed transaction will be entered in the APSR. Do not duplicate automatic transaction or system generated reports and forms with hard copy procedures. Verify that all accountability and assignment of responsibility for property is done through the use of GCS's Army. If manual documents were utilized, ensure they were entered in the APSR once access was restored. This should be very minimal to rare occurrences. As of 30 June 2024, all documents must be maintained digitally. So yeah, you guys. So of course, you got to request access to the accountable property system for record, and everything needs to be digital, you guys. So the next question says commanders or access administrators will perform timely removal of end user access as a personal terminate, offboard, or transfer within 24 hours of departure. System authorization access requests will be filed accordingly to Army document retention policies. So this is saying that the unit supply must verify with the S4 access administrator that personnel who were previously in commander representative, unit supply clerk, unit supply NCO manager, and unit supply handler position are transferred to the military post position role if they departed the force element. Outboarding, disable the access of is only required if the individual will no longer be GCSS Army users. So of course, only the people who's in the supply room who are in those roles should have access, you guys. 10, commander or access administrator will ensure the DD 2875 or system access requests granting G Army access are available for review in a centralized location. So this way you want to make sure it says per brigade S4 SOP, all required documents will be loaded into the master data. Documents will be labeled per a naming convention. Unit supplies should have this form along with their G-Track certs available digitally in their ARMs. So yeah, this is basically your 2875. You guys make sure you have that in your supply room or digitally. Make sure it's filed with the G-Track trainings. So that was section A, you guys. So section B, property authorization documents. So property authorization documents, you guys, you just want to make sure you have your MTO, TDAs, etc. in your ARMs. Verify that APSR records include the authority to possess the equipment. Without property authorization documentation, property redistribution may be directed by higher echelons through DST. So yeah, this is your MTO, you guys. Make sure you have that on hand. So MTO and TDAs. So the next question is APOs reconcile authorization documents annually to identify shortages, overages, and any other discrepancies. This is captured on a memorandum and signed by the brigade commander. Unit supply must have a copy of this memorandum. So every year, the PBO is supposed to do a reconciliation or reconcile authorization document to identify shortages and overages and any other discrepancies captured on the memorandum. So you want to make sure you give it to your PBO to make sure you get a copy of that memorandum each year and make sure it's up to date. And you need to have that in your supply room, you guys. So that way, you ain't always got to go to G Army to look at your shortages or overages. It'll be right there on that memorandum. So that was A and B, you guys. If y'all got any input about what I went over, if I left anything out, let me know. And that's it, you guys. This has been another episode of Soulja Talk the podcast. And I see you guys in formation.